Well. Barcelona make it 4 wins out of 4 games in preseason, and it's looking like it's going to be a very good year because things are starting to click, things are looking good. Yeah, I'm excited. I cannot lie to you guys. I'm excited. And I think that this game between Barça and Como is just perfect for us to dissect and break everything down because there are things more than just what happened on the pitch today that we need to talk about. And we're going to be discussing all of that in today's video. So stay tuned with it because we're starting right now. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. And yeah, I'm excited. Barcelona football is starting once again. Today we had the Community Shield in England where Crystal Palace won. And now we had the Joan Gamper Trophy where Barcelona destroyed Como 5-0. And we're going to have the Super Cup next week. And then the leagues are going to start in the weekend. So it's looking good. I'm excited. You know what? Football is back. And my calendar is getting filled up with football matches. And that's what I love to see. That's really what I love to see. Regardless, the pre-match vibes for the Joan Gamper Trophy at the Stade Johan Cruyff were incredible. You know, a small venue but with a packed atmosphere. And we all know that the Joan Gamper Trophy, it's always this part celebration, part sort of dress rehearsal for the season to, you know, present the team, see us and set objectives basically. And, you know, once again, reconnect with the fans and with us basically because we are part of that. And with Flick's second Gamper in charge, and now another chance to see his full system once again before La Liga opener, I gotta say that it was incredible. It really was. But before heading into the game, I think we have to talk about the 2 pre-game speeches, the one from Ter Stegen and the one for Hansi Flick, because I really want to break them down because they really spoke a lot. If you want to jump straight to the pre-game analysis, you can go ahead and do that, but I encourage you to stick around to hear what they have to say. So first up, we have to talk about the speech of Hansi Flick. And the thing about it is that even though he says all the right words, he doesn't say it's too much because he delivers his speech in Spanish, which is amazing for Hansi Flick, you know, trying to connect that way, being German, English speaking as well. But, you know, learning his way to deliver the entire speech in Spanish, yet it was only like around 1 minute 20 seconds. And he basically said only some few words. I still gotta commend him because it was a good Spanish. You know, as a Spanish-speaking person myself, it was a good Spanish. He delivered very well. But like I said, it was clear. He said everything. But the most important part is what comes next. And I want you to hear this. I'm gonna translate it to you guys because I didn't find someone on Twitter who really specifically translated this. But I wanted to give you guys this insight because it's really, really important. So take a listen. This is what Hansi Flick says at this moment in his speech.
Trabajaremos duro y sin excusas.
Very simple, very short. In the new season, we will work very hard and without excuses. And I think that's the mentality that Barcelona are looking towards for in this season. I think that Barcelona so far with Hansi Flick, that's the main thing that we've learned, that we've needed to improve. We needed to get better, but the only there cannot be an excuse. The only reason that we fail has to be because of ourselves. The only reason why Barcelona failed to achieve the ultimate season, winning the Champions League, which would have made Barcelona, you know, the ultimate, would give Barcelona the ultimate season last season, was because of ourselves. It was our own fault. So there cannot be any more excuses. And I think that this is the most important thing, you know, and I think that the players and this message has to be delivered very, very strongly, very, very, you know, concise. And I like that. I want that mentality to go through all of you guys. I think that's the most important thing that Barcelona need to be approaching this year. We cannot approach this season like any other. This is a season make or do where we have the tools in our arsenal to try and go out there in Europe, in the league, to be the best team out there. And we can do it, and we cannot blame ourselves. We need to go out there. We need to go out there. No excuses, because we know we can compete. So I think Hansi Flick said it perfectly there. So stick that to the back of your mind. And next up, we have the speech from Ter Stegen. He delivers the entire speech as well.
donde queremos disputar
in Spanish for 3 minutes and 42 seconds. So I'm not going to show you all of this because that will be like an entire video to do a breakdown on that. But there are some certain highlights that they translated here. So thanks to Barça Universal for doing that. And first of all, the main important thing is that he starts by saying the following. As usual, we must work every season to improve certain aspects, and we still strive to compete for every single title, hoping to achieve as many as possible with your support. Personally, I think it was very important to resolve the dispute between me and the club, and now it's time to look forward. So Ter Stegen makes it clear here that there is a dispute between him and the club. He makes it clear, he makes it known that there is something that was a problem between them. There was an issue that happened between the two parties. So we just need to know, what was it exactly? Is it really that they did just want him to sign the medical report? I'm not too sure, but in all honesty, I don't agree with, like, for instance, this Twitter guy down here, bro, we don't want you, please just leave and go. I don't agree with that. Like, for me at this moment, I agree with the fans who were at the stadium, because what you need to do, go there regardless. It's new season, new mentality, just cheer, support. They agreed, they are fine. If Barcelona and the staff wouldn't have agreed with Ter Stegen, they wouldn't have returned him the captain's armband or make him known or make him talk here in front of the fans like this they did today. So if Barcelona and the club are, in agreement and are fine with Ter Stegen staying as a captain, is because they resolved that dispute. So let's just respect that and continue to cheer on this team regardless of who's the captain, who's the goalkeeper. And it's not like it's going to matter too much. Like, let's be honest. On the pitch, Ter Stegen, I don't think it's going to be getting many minutes this season. I think that Joan Garcia is going to be playing. I think it's going to be interesting to see who gets the number 1 shirt this season. Maybe Ter Stegen is not even registered in La Liga this year, in this campaign, maybe at the start. Who knows, maybe later on. But yeah, let's just continue supporting this team. I think that Ter Stegen once again admitted that something was wrong, but they fixed it. I don't care who started it. I don't care who was to blame. We can blame all that next season. We have to be in the best possible mindset together as a team as we look further forward into the future. So with that out of the way, we get into the game. We get into the game in which Barcelona lined up with the following team. We had Joan Garcia in goal, our main starting goalkeeper. Eddie Garcia's right back. Pau Cubarsí with his new number 5. Ronald Araujo, Alejandro Valde, Pedri, Frank de Jong, Lamine Yamal, Fermín Lopez, which had an incredible game, more on him later. Rafinha and Marcus Rashford as a striker. Good lineup. I think that our main starting lineup is only a few tweaks away from this. And I mean, like, our Gala 11. Our starting 11, like, if you want to have a Champions League final tomorrow, I think it's only a few tweaks away from this. And when it comes down to the starting 11 that we're going to put out in the game against Mallorca in our opening, I think it's going to be slightly different from this. I think we saw it at the start in the second half. That's my hint. But anyhow, I think that Barcelona, with this formation, and I was kind of sort of very surprised with Marcus Rashford starting as a striker, but it does give you a little bit of a versatility, to have Marcus Rashford there. It does give you a little bit of a versatility to have Rashford as a striker, because we saw constantly in the first half, Rafinha and Rashford move a little bit centrally, occupy those spaces in the box, and allowed for a lot of opportunities for these players to just find different chances in the box. Lamine Yamal will most of the time sort of overlap for the right, do his playmaking on that side, and then send a cross, send a low ball, send a pass in the way into the side of the box, and it will fall into Rafinha and Marcus Rashford, which kind of overloaded the defenders, and I think that's how we saw the first 2 goals from Fermín Lopez. So good on the players there. But at the game overall, I think that Como started very aggressively. I think that Como did a very good job at the start. I think that Fabregas is doing an incredible job with that team. But Barcelona and Hansi Flick did something which I'm very happily surprised so far throughout this preseason, and is that the offside trap is still looking good. I don't know about you guys, but I think that the offside trap of this team is looking healthy. It's looking healthy, for even so early on in the preseason, or well, at the start of the year. It started the campaign. I still feel I am looking like it's, you know what, it's oiled. It's oiled. It makes sense. It's looking good. And I think that if we can continue like this, if our players can really settle into it, I think that we could be having a good defense. Because let's remember that the back line, I always like to say it like that, Balde, Araujo, Christensen, well, this time Cubarsí, and Koundé were the ones that kept so many clean sheets with Xavi. I think that it's possible that those defenders are still there. They just need to adapt to that high line because the defending, it's not gone. It's not gone. It's just that you're defending a little bit higher up. Well, not a little bit. It's quite a lot. Quite further away from goal. So, yeah, but I think that Araujo should be suited for that. Let's just see if he's able to adapt mentally to it. But talking about the man of the match, Fermín Lopez was or is an incredible player. I think that right now in world football, guys, I open a question to you. Leave me in the comments if you think there's a better player than Fermín Lopez right now shooting outside the box. Because when I think of it, like on the top of my head, I think of like De Bruyne is really good shooting outside the box. I think Federico Valverde. And I think Fermín Lopez. Like, I really do think about those players when I think about shooting outside the box. On a consistent basis, those are players that will always get goals outside the box. Fermín Lopez is really good at that. Really good. I like the first goal, he may have a little bit of help from Sergio Roberto that bounced sort of from his heel there. But the second one, it's superb. It's a tremendous strike that there's no way the Como goalkeepers was gonna get there. It just sends such a powerful shot with a tremendous spike to the top left corner with a curler that it's hard to do. Like, it's very hard to do that curler. So I'm quite surprised that Fermín is able to do stuff like that in his locker. And I said the question again, a new question for you guys. I think that Fermín Lopez, like, it really makes me wonder that whether the money for Dani Olmo was well spent here. Because Dani Olmo is a player that, yeah, he's injured and he's forever gonna always be injured. He's an injury-prone player. And Fermín Lopez always has the opportunity to step up and score goals. Like 2 goals here and a pre-assist. Let's remember the third goal that was an assist from Marcus Rashford for the goal of Rafinha. That was a wonderful pass from Fermín Lopez. So Fermín Lopez directly contributed to 3 goals here. And he always steps up. Like, I know it's just a preseason game, but I wouldn't be surprised, or we won't be surprised if he does this in match day number 8 in La Liga. Like, he's able to do that. And he's able to do it in the Champions League as well. We've seen it last season as well. So Fermín Lopez makes me wonder. I think that right now he's a starter. Like, I really do think the way that he finished last season was very, very strong. And today with his performance and what we've been seeing in preseason, I think he keeps his place. I think he keeps his place as a starter. I think he keeps his place as a starter there. Then Rafinha keeps it as well. Lamine Yamal, of course. And I think then it's up for debate between Marcus Rashford and Ferran Torres. I think that Marcus Rashford today, I was a little bit surprised. I would have been expecting him to, be fighting for his position or playing to impress the manager a little bit more than what he was doing. I really was surprised that he wasn't as, ecstatic to play in front of the Barça fans. I thought he would be giving a little bit more, but maybe it just will take a little bit of time to take the stink out of Manchester United from him. Maybe stuck to him. Maybe he just needs a time to wear off, and maybe he will play better. Ferran Torres as well. He was very good. I mean, he did assist as well. I think we could be seeing a team where we have this player, this false 9, like Rashford, like Ferran Torres, in where precisely they don't score that many goals, perhaps, but they are the ones to create plenty of chances because the movement that they bring, they're both very, very complete advanced forwards. They can shift to the left and to the right. They have no problem in doing that. And their constant movement allowed for Rafinha to be like, I was going to say like Messi, but to occupy space like Messi, just to be wherever he wanted. Rafinha sometimes was dropping in between Araujo and Cubarsí to pick up the ball, or sometimes he was even on the right with Lamine Yamal, overloading that side of the play. So they were constantly giving this ability for Rafinha to do or be wherever he wanted. And I think that is what Ferran Torres and Rashford gives you. Because in contrast to Lewandowski is way more static. We know. Trust me. 2 years we've seen Lewandowski be sort of this tree trunk in the middle of the pitch that stops everything down. He can score golazos, but it comes with it. That's part of what we get with the package. And I think that Rashford now and Ferran Torres are a little bit different. And it's going to be interesting to see who Flick prefers. I think that so far Ferran Torres is still a little bit ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. I think that Marcus Rashford was given an opportunity here. I think that Flick said to Rashford, okay, I'm going to give you this opportunity. Ferran Torres coming back is the guy he trusts because he has already seen him play for a year, right? So there's no need precisely to, reinvent the wheel. But yeah, that's an interesting way to shape this up. I want to see, guys, what would be your front four? What would be your front four? Let me know in the comments down below. What would be your starting front four? Because behind that, we know what's going to start. We know the players are the starters, right? I think Joan Garcia is the starter. I think Koundé. I think Cubarsí, Araujo, Valdé. Then we have Pedri, Frank de Jong. That's set on stone. But we do not know the 4 players on top of that. So I want to know what your front four would be. So halftime came and Rafinha was pressing his ass off. We saw 4 goals, 2 from Ferjani Lopez, 1 from Rafinha, and the last one from Lamine Yamal that came from that pressure of Rafinha. I mean, the guy literally will run to the end of the world all the time. Like, Rafinha is immense. I wanted him to be the captain. I really wanted him to be, but it ended up being Araujo. But anyhow, like, the second half came and Flick focused, I think, on what would be the main starting 11. And that main starting 11 would be Ferran Torres as the striker and Koundé as the right back. I think that this is the 11 that we will see next weekend in the first game of La Liga. I think that this is what this preseason has sort of been building for. And I think that this is the team that is right now our best 11, you could say. It's a good team. It's a very good team. I would like to see how we incorporate Lewandowski or Dani Olmo to it. If Dani Olmo at all comes into the fold, because Ferjani Lopez, like I said already, is having a tremendous season so far in 4 games. And Lewandowski, like I said, I still like Lewandowski though. Is it a hot take? I don't know. But I like Lewandowski because he's such a clinical striker. Way more than Rashford and Ferran Torres. Because we saw it here, right? Rashford dribbled in the first half, passed the goalkeeper and missed. And Yamal almost assists Ferran Torres, but for the 6th, and yet again he missed. So it's like we're lacking striker options. We really do need that striker for next season. I hope this isn't a problem that's gonna bite us later throughout the year. The tempo drop after this, the focus of the game shifted from controlling the game and starting to avoid injuries. It was almost a full rotation near the end of the match. Joan Garcia was the only one who stayed on. There was the special moment for Sergio Roberto's being subbed off, standing ovation, reminder of his underrated career at Barcelona. I think could you say Sergio Roberto is a legend? I think that's a hot take. I think he is, but it's a hot take. But last but not least, I want to talk about Lamine Yamal, because I think that Lamine Yamal today had an important role to showcase himself with the number 10 in front of the fans at home at Barcelona, in the city that we all know and love. And yeah, he was a nightmare for Alex Valle, the ex-Barça left back. Dribbles, assists, goals, he was relentless. He really was relentless, and he's looking already like in mid-season form. But for me, the thing is that I think he was a little bit too selfish, and I do not know whether this had to do anything with the off-the-pitch storyline, and that is this thing that he may be dating Nicki Nicole, which is this Argentinian rapper or singer. She has good music, let me tell you. She sings very good. Like if she's gonna date someone, let it be Lamine Yamal or vice versa, because I agree. But maybe they're getting too media attention, too much, and that could impact the player. Because I don't know. I still wonder. I still hope that this is a fine line that Lamine is walking, and I always will forever be a little bit nervous, because here Nicki Nicole's already seen being wearing, the shirt with Lamine Yamal on the back. And here Lamine Yamal apparently has her photo on his wallpaper. Yeah. Do you guys have your girl's face photo on your wallpaper? I wouldn't. I still have, like, let me show you. I still think I have my wallpaper is Lewandowski, and whenever I change, it's something else. So it's Lamine Yamal there. It's Lamine Yamal and Balde. So it's no girls. It's just football. so yeah. But I don't know. I hope that this doesn't influence anything with the player and the team overall. But I think that they're having a nice time. I think that the squad that we have is very good. It's very nice. I like these moments like this. You can see like Lewandowski and Lamine, just laughing off Ferran Torres Valde. It's a good team. It's a good squad. I like it. I don't want it to be breaking apart. What everyone talked about with Gavi and Ferjani Lopez, and I think that's left behind. I think that we have this in the bag. I really do, guys. I think this team is special. Let's continue. Let's bring it home. Let's bring the UCL home. I think it's possible. I really think it's possible. We were very close last season, and there's no reason why not to believe yet again. Because certainly this team will win again. This team will win again. And this team will win. Like with Hansi Flick and what he's doing, they will. So yeah, guys, very excited for the start of the season. Let me know what you want or expect from me this year. Very exciting. So I want to have all your energy, all your feedback in the comment box down below. Let me know, and I'll bring you all that content to you. I'm very excited for what's coming. And yeah, see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao.